Parsha 101, Haftorah 101, this week's Haftorah is Parshas Lech Lecha. And Parshas Lech Lecha, the third Torah portion, focuses entirely on Avram and Avram's story. So Avram's uniqueness was not just that he was a monotheist. There were a lot of monotheists, but part of why he's considered the first Jew and why he's so unique is because he went out to tell other people about it. And he brought people closer to God. So instead of just staying in his own hut and just focusing on his own spiritual growth, he made his mission to go out and tell people about it. So this has always been part of the Jewish spiritual legacy and heritage, is to be a moral light unto others and to tell people about God, say how great he is. So this week's Haftarah comes from the book of Isaiah, the book of Yeshaya, and the beginning of it focuses on the Jewish people are saying that sometimes it seems like we're on this path of Torah mitzvahs and God's not paying attention. Why are we being ignored? Where is he? And the immediate answer is, well, God is vast and all-knowing, and it might seem that way, but he's definitely paying attention, and we cannot understand his thoughts. After all, who gives strength to those who are weary, and who gives strength to those who are fatigued, right? So now it seems like the young ones, and as in your enemies, that they're all strong and powerful, but they will grow weary, and they will not always be above you. And it continues also like that those who have hope and faith in God, their strength will be renewed, and they're going to have wings like eagles, etc. And God is saying also, just you wait and see what I'm going to do to the enemies, to those who have risen up against you. And just like Abraham, in this week's Torah portion, his nephew Lot was kidnapped in a war. There were 4 kings against 5 kings, and 4 mighty kings against 5 kings. But Abraham went to go rescue him. And God is saying, through Isaiah, the prophet is saying, the same way that I made Abraham victorious against these 4 mighty kings, and they all were just like dust before him, so too all the nations, what are they going to be like before me? And they're not going to get it. They're going to say to one another, they're going to try to strengthen each other and give more faith to those who make the idols. Like, okay, the one who makes sure everything's in place, that everything's being fastened correctly, they're just going to focus on these false gods that have done nothing for them. But you, Israel, my people, I have chosen you, and I raised you up, etc., etc. So don't be afraid and don't be disheartened, because strength will return. We're gonna see the glory. Basically, God will take care of the enemies. He even describes it as those who disgrace you will be shamed, etc. And it describes it that I'm going to make you like a threshing disc. So mountains you're going to thresh mountains, and you're going to turn hills into chaff, basically. As in, you're going to just kings and princes who rise up against you, you will totally destroy them. You'll just be carried away like nothing in the wind. So they're going to be carried away after their punishment, and you will rejoice with God. And here, actually, in this week's Haftorah, we have the line of Ish Esrei Yazor Ulachiv Yomar Chazak. One man will say to his friend, he will help him, and will say to him, be strong. So here it's describing it kind of in the language of the nation, saying to each other that when God's going to come after them, and they're going to either come up and basically that they're going to be like, yeah, don't be afraid, we'll be okay. And of course they won't be. But it's also kind of, there's still a lesson here for us that the Medrash tells us that we try to help each other, and even if we can't help each other with physical actions, we can still help each other with encouragement, with verbal encouragement, and we can still try to lift each other up in that regard. And it also kind of connects toward the end. It describes the Jewish people kind of like a worm, Jacob the worm, or like a worm like Jacob, which is a very interesting descriptor. So part of it is there's a whole humility factor to it, but part of it is also like a worm does not seem to be a strong creature, but yet in its mouth, it can destroy a cedar tree. So the Jewish people, we might seem to be this small and overlooked kind of creature, but our strength is in our mouth. And that strength is Torah study and prayer, which has always been our strength. That's always our number one thing. So please God, we'll have all these prophecies that we have been discussing will all come to pass, and that we should merit the coming of Mashiach very speedily in our days.